wanted to make a video today on something that I've searched the internet for as far as videos are concerned, to try to see if I can come up with a way, or I should say a better way, to quickly release my kayak anchor. And there's different videos that cover different topics, and I'll give you an example of what I mean. There are videos on there that say a quick release anchor is when you have your anchor rigged as so, and having your line go to this end of the anchor, and then having a very small type zip tie on this end. That way, if your anchor ever gets caught while you're pulling it and these teeth get caught on something, you can pull on this with such force that it will break this zip tie, thereby allowing you to pull your anchor free from a different direction. And you see a video on that, and that's called a quick release anchor. And it may be, but my video is not going to be about the anchor itself. It's going to be more so about quickly releasing your anchor when you're in trouble. Now, I've seen plenty of videos on the internet where they have this big, huge anchor type deal, or anchor rope type doohickey that looks something similar to that. Okay, where they have the carabiner on there and they hook it on and they let the line out and it hooks onto their anchor. Then they take the anchor trolley and they slide it up and down and whoop-de-woo, and that's supposed to be some type of quick release. In other words, when you get into trouble, all you do is just go pulling on your anchor trolley. If this loop is up there, you pull on it to get it to where you can grab this carabiner, unhook it from the hoop, and that's supposed to be a quick release system. And in my opinion, it's just not quick enough. Not quick enough for me. I don't want to be pulling on my anchor trolley when it's time for me to release my anchor. When it comes time to release my anchor, I want to do just that. I want to release my anchor. So what I've come up with, I didn't come up with this. I cannot take the credit for this, but I took a nylon rope, okay? Simple nylon rope, which is a little over half the length of my kayak, and I'll explain why in a second. But I took this nylon rope and I zip tied it, heat shrunk it into a loop, little small loop on one end, and on the other end is nothing. I didn't want anything. You can't have anything on the other end, and I'll show you why in a second. Here's how I hook up my anchor when I get ready to anchor. Even though I hate anchoring, this is the way I do it. I take the loop to the anchor trolley, which most people would clip their anchor directly onto that. But instead, I take this loop, okay, and I run it through the loop on the anchor trolley. Then I take my anchor line and I clip it onto that. And then I deploy my anchor. And it goes wherever it wants. It goes where anchors go, to the bottom. And I can move this loop or my anchor trolley forward and aft as needed. And that's the reason why I don't need this rope to be the entire length of my kayak, because I sit approximately in the middle, so I only need the length from the middle of the kayak to the front and or back, which is approximately halfway. So here's the deal. When I deploy the anchor and the anchor's gone, I take the other end of this rope and I just simply loop it around, or I have an anchor cleat in there where I can just, a zigzag cleat where I can just zigzag it through. Either way, whichever one I feel, have whatever. But you know, it's on there, and this is usually tight because it's the knob to my seat, so it don't spin like that. You know, it sits up there nice and snug. You can pull on it, whatever. Now, when it comes time to quickly release the anchor, remember the anchor's hooked onto this loop and it's, you know, down into the water or whatever. When it comes time to quickly release my anchor, all I have to do is unwrap this thing, okay? This cord shoots through this loop. This is why you can't have anything on the other end. You can't have it bunched up. You can't have it all crunched together or tied together into some sort of knot. It has to be free rope, and it'll just fly through this thing very quickly, and thereby releasing you from your anchor. When I need to retrieve it, of course, I have a float on my anchor line. When I need to retrieve it, I'll just paddle back to it and pick it up. That is how I quickly release my anchor. It's just a matter of taking that cord that I showed you, which runs through here, and you just simply, you know, wrap it on something. Once or twice, zigzag cleat it, whatever. It ain't gonna move, all right? That way, if I'm sitting in my kayak, it's just a matter of, you know, just grabbing it with my hand. I don't have to pull the carabiner closer to me in order to unclip it from the hoop to release it from my anchor. I don't want to be pulling on it. You know, that's about 3 or 4 or 5 pulls either way, real fast. However, when all I got to do is just pull once on the cord and let it go and it'll fly away. That's quick. That's what I call quick. And so this is why I use that as a quick release system for my kayak. I said I cannot take credit for this idea. This came from Fishing Kayak Hacks YouTube channel. There's a guy who has a YouTube channel. It's called Fishing Kayak Hacks. I don't know the guy's name. He's a great guy. Watch the videos. I get a shitload of tips from him and a shitload of information from the guy. He's awesome. At any rate, that's it. That's my quick release anchor system. So if you guys have any comments, if you think it's good, comment. If you think it's bad, comment. I need to know why. Give me some feedback. This is a safety thing here, and we can both, you know, learn from each other, or, you know, go back and forth and pick each other's brains as far as this goes, so we can all be safe out on the water. I'm not an experienced kayaker by any means, but you know, I know when something works, and this just looks like it's gonna work. And so this is why I use it. I've never had to quickly release my anchor because I was in any danger or anything like that. But if the need arises, I want to be prepared. I want to be able to do so. And every time I anchor my kayak, this is the way I do it. So again, leave a comment, hit that thumbs up, and let me know what you think.